beautiful. I hope that you are doing well wherever you are. Now, I know you're probably sitting there like, oh, she looked way different than the last video. And I know that I do, but I actually washed my hair and I'm wearing my hair this way for a specific reason, for the topic of discussion that I want to talk to you guys about today. I, like so many other young women, have dealt with low self esteem. When I was in middle school and high school, um, my hair texture was a topic of discussion. Actually, let me just say this: throughout my whole life, even when I was a little girl, my hair texture was a topic of discussion, and I mean, it was a topic of discussion within my family. I can recall certain aunts and siblings telling my mom that I needed to get a relaxer because my hair was just so nappy. I could recall, my mom really taking me to the hair salon. I've been going to the hair salon to get my hair straightened since I was like 2.5. So I always felt bad about the type of hair that I had. I always felt like I really wasn't that pretty because my hair wasn't pretty. I didn't have good hair. I had bad hair. I had the Kunta Kinte hair or, the slave hair. I used to get called a whole bunch of names. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the Addie doll, the American Girl doll. Yeah, I was called Little Addie, just things like that. And so because of that, it made me really feel bad about myself. It made me feel bad about my image. And so I started to have low self-esteem. And then it didn't help that I went to predominantly white schools my entire life. So my best friends, Katie and Ashley, had good hair. They had silky, long, luxurious hair. They can wet their hair and it still be straight, things like that. If I would wet my hair, I would look like Scary Spice, okay? So I just always felt out of place. I didn't feel like I belonged, and I felt like I didn't look like my other counterparts, my other peers, so I didn't feel pretty. Um, Anybody else felt that way ever before? Have you ever struggled with anything, any body part on your body that, made you feel bad about yourself? I mean, it could be your hair, it could be your nose, ears, lips, teeth, feet. I know that I'm not alone. And I know that this is a topic that comes up a lot in my therapy sessions. Again, I'm a therapist as well. And I talk to a lot of young women. That's really my demographic that I work with. And a lot of these young women do struggle with self-esteem. And it's not necessarily even because they feel that way about themselves, but it is because other people have felt or have voiced their opinions, their negative opinions and views on that individual. And because of that, they start to feel bad about themselves. But the great thing about being a child of God is the fact that we have to always remember that we were made in His likeness and in His image. So regardless of what anybody says, we should know that we are indeed beautiful, and we are beautiful just the way that we are. Why? Because God made us the way that we are for a specific reason. So with me, for instance, my hair texture is coarse, it's kinky, it's woolly hair. But the good thing about my hair is it can keep a hairstyle. I used to compare my hair with my best friend, Shane. She has very long, beautiful hair. It's thick. It's gorgeous hair. And I used to compare my hair with hers because everyone would compliment her hair and obviously not compliment mine. But the one thing that I noticed about Shane's hair is, although it's silky and although it's fine, it really can't keep a hairstyle. But my hair, because it is coarse, it can keep a hairstyle for like 2 weeks, even 3 weeks if I want to keep it for 3 weeks. But Shane's hair can't really keep a hairstyle that long. So you have to start looking at the pros as well as the cons, in a sense. But don't focus all the time on that negative thing about that feature. Really look at the positives and don't compare yourself with anybody else. I had to learn that. Stop comparing yourself because God made you the way that you are for a specific reason. Sometimes you might not understand why, but He knows why. Let me read a scripture to you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with this scripture, but this scripture is just very dear to my heart. It's up on the screen for you to read it with me. Psalm 139, 13 through 16. This is the Message translation. It says this: Oh, yes, you shaped me first inside, then out. You formed me in my mother's womb. I thank you, High God. You are breathtaking. Body and soul, I am marvelously made. I worship in adoration. What a creation. You know me, inside and out. You know every bone in my body. You know exactly how I was made, bit by bit, how I was sculpted from nothing into something. Like an open book, you watched me grow from conception to birth. All the stages of my life were spread out before you. The days of my life, all prepared before I'd even lived one day. Isn't that good news, ladies? Isn't that good news to know that regardless of whatever flaws we think we might have, that they're not flaws at all? God made us the way that He made us. Before we were even conceived, He knew exactly what He wanted us to look like, what features would be in our body, for a reason, a specific reason. So, ladies, whenever you think that you aren't beautiful, or whenever your self-esteem start to kind of get low because somebody else is saying something about you that they don't like about you, remember this. You were made the way that you were made for a specific purpose and a specific reason. You are a divine, authentic creation of God. And He made you the way that He made you in His likeness and His image.